Okay, I'm back. I'm hoping that this time round I've got all working with the video. I have no idea why the video actually stopped, but let's give it another try. Hopefully this time we will stay around. Um, yeah, sorry. Just let me fix the camera as well. Floating sideways. Okay, welcome back. Okay, let's try that again and see if I can answer your questions again. There we go. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, okay, we are back again. Yes. I think I was being asked about the free DAW and if any limitations and so on. I guess for Traction T6, which is now free, it has no limitations, so you could actually have as many. Oh, stream is buffering a lot. That's really strange. I wonder why. Okay, so let me sort this out. It says it's good. Well, YouTube actually says my video is good, so I'll try that. Okay. Hopefully it gets better. Yeah, so when they say unlimited, that means it's not time limited. You can use it as long as you like. It has no limitation on number of audio tracks you could have and MIDI tracks you could have. Obviously, it's limited by the by your hard drive and audio processor. You can have VST plugins, VST2, VST3. You can have VST instruments. So you could do everything and anything. It supports multiple inputs. So if your audio interface supports, for eight inputs, so you want to record a drum with 8 microphones, there's no limitation of you having 8 microphones through the interface and into Traction T6. And the same goes with SoundBridge, which is fairly new DAW, still has some quirk and some issues that they are sorting it out, but it's getting better and better each month as they are updating it. I've done quite a few videos on Traction T5 and T6, and as well as SoundBridge, so you could use either of those. They're not as intuitive as the mainstream DAWs, but they're unlimited and they're free, so you can use it. Where in Studio One Prime, it does have limitations, and one of the major one is VST plugins and instrument availability. So yeah, that really blocks it down. But PreSonus is a big company that just wants to give away some it wants to get a certain degree to get you try it out, and if you like it, to actually just buy professional version. If you're thinking of buying PreSonus Studio One, just skip Artist. You need to go to the professional because Artist still doesn't have VST plugin availability. What's the other one? Another one that is free that I can think of is, and I've got the Harrison version of it, Mixbus, that I have it installed, and I purchased it for like $20. I think it's based on Ardour, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe someone can correct me. So you could use that one. There's a few other ones as well available, but some have their limitations. But I'm not sure about Ardour. I have not used Ardour, so I don't know what the limitations on that one is. And if you search free DAW, there's quite a few that will come up. But Audacity, I don't classify that as DAW because it has a lot of functionality that you require in a DAW is missing. So I hope that answers those questions. Okay, let me have a look. What else is there? Why Magic's Amplitude Silver isn't free anymore? Well, it was never actually free. Magic had an agreement with some OEM manufacturers who were selling, keyboards. I've got one of the MIDI keyboards, and they would actually give them for free. So when you register your MIDI keyboard, the manufacturer will actually provide you with a link you could download and install it. So it was never actually free. Again, it had quite a few limitations. I think it had 8 tracks you could record, even though it allowed VST plugins, but only had 8 tracks. So you could still use it, which I think I only recorded ever once when I first got it, tried to record something. But 8 tracks is quite limited. And we're talking about MIDI and audio tracks. So anyway, so yeah, that's why I don't list it. So, but you can certainly get Magic's Music Maker free, where you can create music with loops, but you can at the same time import your loops or your recordings into it. And it's got built-in some effects. Again, it doesn't have the VST unless you pay an upgrade. But that's another great DAW that you could record. So, and let's have a look at some of the other questions. Is BM800 and Behringer UM2 good? Now, BM800, I'm not sure which BM800 it is. If it's one of those cheap Asian crappy microphones, I wouldn't recommend it. UM2 from Behringer, it's not bad for, plug a microphone, record guitar or microphone into it. It's not a bad one, but BM800, I think I have a video on one of those, and it's noisy as hell. You're not going to get anything good out of that microphone. Simon says, Ardour, although not free, a donation of as little as $1 will give you access to the program. Yes, I think I might have downloaded Ardour at one stage, and I think I donated about $10 because, just for the sake of trying it out. But I never got the chance to actually install it. Thanks for reminding me, Simon. I might actually have to look at that and maybe install it and do a review on it. And LMMS is the best DAW. Okay, I think I've tried the LMMS. If you think it's the best one for you, then it's the best one for you. Who am I to argue? Can you suggest me the best, cheapest condenser mic and an interface? Well, it's like saying, can you suggest me the best restaurant? Well, I don't know how much you can afford and what's the best restaurant, because my taste will be different than to your taste. And remember, you get what you paid for. So I'm not sure that is a valid question. And I do get that question very often and commented. You want to spend, $50 for a microphone, you're going to get a $50 sound. The microphone behind me, which is the Rode M1, is, $300. And I've got a microphone which is $1,500. On, when was it? I think Wednesday night, I had a recording session, and I had a vocalist come in, and he said, can I bring my microphone with me? And I said, sure, you can bring yours. And he had the Rode, I think it's K1, which is a tube microphone. I mean, with that microphone, we did not even have to use an EQ to EQ his vocals. It just went straight through. I think I only had to pull down a couple of notches because there was a ringing sound, and that's from this room. Other than that, the EQ was flat. We didn't have to do any EQing. So that's what you get for paying the money. But if you want to have a $50 sound, and if you're using just for podcasting and you don't care about the noise and the quality of the microphone, then $50 it is. I hope that answers that question. Simon says, I have used Ardour a fair bit, a different workflow, but does all as it expected well. Thanks, Simon. I mean, I have, as I mentioned a couple of months ago, I did purchase the Harrison Mix Bus for $20, which is based on Ardour. So Harrison, who create hardware mixes, actually support Ardour financially to get it developed, and at the same time they get the bass from Ardour and add their own sort of flavor into Mixbus, and I'm actually quite impressed. I had it on my laptop at one stage trying it out, but everything is so small that I couldn't actually see it. So I actually needed to install in my big screen so I could see all of the settings. And it's on the big screen. It does look nice. I've only done test recordings, so yeah, for $20, it's not bad. It's not bad. Again, it does not have any limitations. You can add your own plugin. It will run on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So it's really, really great. Can you give me your email ID? No. Sorry, I don't want to sound rude, but no, because the number of questions that you had, which can be answered very basically, I don't want to be bombarded with emails. Sorry. I just don't have time. Can we convert Yamaha PSR E333 into a MIDI controller? Usually, if it has a MIDI connection, whether if it's the 5-pin DIN or a USB connection to MIDI, but sure, any keyboard can be a controller. So anything you play on your PSR 333, it should trigger MIDI in your DAW if you have set it up correctly. I hope that answers. Because it doesn't matter, I have many keyboards here which have just MIDI output and they work without any problem. It is written as MIDI. Translation. Savvy, it says, have you experienced any issues with your studio since it was completed? Settling, leaky roof, etc. No. I have not had any issues with the construction of it. I've been in here now quite some time. Probably, when did I come in here? About August. September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months I've been in here. No, not even my doors, which are quite heavy doors, and there's only a small gap, like a couple millimeter gap, and they have actually stayed there. Just bear with me for a minute. Let me grab that phone. Hello. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, not a problem. No. I'm actually doing a live stream on YouTube while I'm talking to you. All right, bye. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, I have not had any leakage problem, noise problems. When I actually installed the metal roofing, before I actually had the gyprocs on and the panels, gyproc panels or plasterboards, whenever the weather get hot, you get that metal expansion, and you get these crackling noises. And I was going, oh no, what have I done? I should actually put, tiles up there, whether concrete or terracotta tiles, so they don't have that noise. But with all the insulation and everything else, I don't even hear anything. Rain, I don't even know sometimes. I go out the door and then it's been raining, pouring down, and I would never know in here because the doors are closed. So yeah, I'm surprised. I'm actually done a really, really great job. A couple of bits and pieces of, I didn't sand it down properly, and you can still see some putty around, but no one's looking. No one actually can see it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I hope that answers that question. So if you are following and you have watched my video on building this place, if you follow it, it's definitely will get a good result. Let me see. We have Kevin Wayne. How are you, Kevin? Thanks for joining. I hope you're doing well. Alrighty, working on an album release and whatnot. I hope, Kevin, you are working on an album. That's really great to hear. That's really great to hear. I've been quite busy working as well, and and I just had a drawback on Thursday, where my Behringer UFX 1604 mixer audio interface, the 16 channel interface, all of a sudden it just decided not to start. I would turn it on and the power would just go bleh. So LED, very dim LED, and just wouldn't work. So today I had to take it to the music shop and return it back and hopefully get a replacement. They didn't have a spare one in stock to give it to me, but I'm hoping that by next week they will replace it. I said, look, I need it replaced because it's an intermittent problem, and because it went off on Wednesday, wouldn't work. Thursday, when I came in, it was working, and then later on stopped working again. So obviously it's an intermittent problem with the power supply. And I told them, no repair. I do need replaced. So I'm hoping that they will replace it. And if they don't, I will definitely get my money back and get something else. But I'm pretty sure they will, because I have spent thousands of dollars in that music shop buying music gear, musical instruments, drum sets, guitars, guitar amps, keyboards, synthesizers, and lots of gear here. So yeah. So so my Behringer mixer, after exactly 2 months, exactly on the day, 2 months, no, a day short of 2 months of having it, and I didn't really use it that much as well. So it's at the doctor's, getting replaced. Hopefully they just give me a brand new one. We have Billy Blaze as well. Hi Billy Blaze, hope you're doing well. How's the music going? The MA talking about SoundBridge recording audio. Yes, SoundBridge, you can record audio, you can record MIDI, you can have VST instruments. So if you want to convert your audio into MIDI, then you can purchase Melodyne, add to it, and then you can convert it, because there's no other way. I don't believe there's any other way or program that will convert it. There might be, I don't know. Any limitations? No limitations. You can have as many audio tracks and MIDI tracks that your PC can support. VST2, VST3s. You can record, play, everything. So check SoundBridge up. Kevin says it just had repeated crash problems. I think it has to do with some plugins it tries to load. Yes, there has been some issues with SoundBridge. I think one of the main issues that they found out is Azure for All audio driver. So if you are using Azure for All driver, then it will crash. And that's at the same time VST plugins is causing as well. But they're working on it. To my last email that I have received, they have been fixing it. They are adding new options as well. And one of the great things they're adding is the cloud collaboration. So that means you can collaborate with many people online. So you can save your tracks online in skytracks.io, and then other people can add and join in. So if they have SoundBridge, you have SoundBridge, you're in Germany, they're in Brazil, you can play your parts, they can play your parts, and then both of you can actually hear each other. Obviously not real time, but it gets synchronized, and then you can do your bit and they can do their bits, and maybe a third person, let's say in Russia, can play the mandolin for you, and maybe another person, let's say in Canada, can play guitars for you, and you can all join together. So that's what SoundBridge can also do. Of course, you can do that in Ohm Studio as well. So OHM, Ohm Studio, is another free DAW. Again, with no limitation as such, but you are still limited to a number of projects. I think they're up to 10 projects, your own projects that you could have for Ohm Studio. I have done a video on Ohm Studio as well. It's a fantastic. Ohm Studio collaboration is real time. That's one of the mind-blowing things that I have experienced, is that as I was recording my keyboards, halfway through my playing, another person was already adding the guitar parts and at the same time. So by the time I finished recording my keyboard, I could hear the guitars coming through. So it's real time. So check Ohm Studio as well, which is really another great DAW. Sevi says, do you ever have requests to just record using only analog? In what sense analog? If someone wants to come and record fully analog, no computers involved, I can to a certain degree, because at the back of my studio, I still have my 4-track cassette recorder, and which I purchased about 26 or 27 years ago, and I still have it, and it still works. So if they really want analog, I've got the 4-track. So we're just going to be bouncing tracks back and forth for it. I mean, the advantage now I have, which I didn't have back then, is I've got now compressors where I can get the input signal, go through compressors and compress them down before I print them, or before I record them onto the cassette tracks, to minimize obviously noise, use gates and all those sort of things. So if I really need to go 100% analog, I can still do it. because I do have analog mixer. It's got a mixer in it built in, and I can record onto a 4-track. But how good the quality will be is, I don't know. It's the same quality would be as I would have recorded 25 years ago when I did my first cassette album, which I keep it to date. Hope that answers that question. Let's see. I guess I'm being asked if SoundBridge supports automation. I believe it does. I haven't tried it. I'm pretty sure it does. It says, say more about SoundBridge. Well, I can't say any more about it. Just go to soundbridge.io, browse, open your browser, and type in soundbridge.io, and a whole heap of information, as well as the free download, is right there. So you can download it and try it out. You've got nothing to lose. It's free. And then you can just install it and try it out and see if it works. See if you like the workflow. If it does, then all good. Hans says, you look so pretty. What? He says, I can't get more from their website. You need to create a free account. And when you create your free account on soundbridge.io and you log in, there is a whole heap of documents as well as videos showing you how, step by step, how to actually use SoundBridge and all of its functions. I think there's like probably 20 videos out there going to each of the functions of how to do this, how to do that, how to do that. Just create a free account. It's free. And then when you log in into your account, there's a whole heap of things on the left-hand side that you can look. Says, I love your cute beard. Yeah. There's Hans Holtz, love from guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you. So cute and adorable. Sorry, I'm married already. There you go. Sorry, guys. Okay, Andrew, 2004 Sydney. What about recording on wax cylinders? Can you do that? No. Wax cylinders. Anyway, that's a good one. Savvy says, have you ever had any of your data storage accounts hacked? Which data storage are you talking about? Not really, no. None of my computer work have been hacked. As far as I think it was last year sometime where my website was being hacked, but I got prevented to a certain degree, and that caused me quite a grief. I thought I was hacked and I thought I lost a lot of information, but nothing of the studio production. It was just whatever was on my website, and those sort of, files, which are replaceable and didn't matter anyway. But other than that, not in my studio, no. Because everything is backed up onto portable drives like this, and they get filed in my safe. Not only to keep, it's quite safe in here. It's double locked, so no one actually can get in here unless they get a big hammer and try to break in here. It's more of protecting it from any fire. So that's the only reason I put it in a safe, those drives. So in case something happens in here and there's fire, at least all of my archives, probably not that one, but all of the other archives which are in my safe will be safe. Everything is turned off when I leave here. All the power is from the board is switches off. There's nothing on. And when I come in, I turn it on. But it can happen. So that's the only reason. So I hope that's what you were asking. Storage accounts. I mean, if you're talking about Google Drive or what's the other one, Dropbox, usually I use Dropbox to share the songs with clients. That, links given, nothing really important anyway, and they usually after maybe a couple of weeks I need to delete them anyway because I need the space. And the customers would already had downloaded their copy if they needed to copy. But yeah, but it is something that you really need to think about, I guess, when you are saving things outside here, outside your computer into the clouds. Kevin says, I think that could be considered sexual harassment. I don't start with political correctness and this and that bullshit and that bullshit. I'm fine, as long as it's not physically hurting me, whatever. I'm good with it. Thanks, Kevin. Billy Blaze says, can you record with a turtle shell and a handful of dirt? Yabba-dabba-doo! No. That's a Flintstones era. Andrew 2004. This guy tried it, but it didn't work well. YouTube recording on 100-year-old equipment. Wow. I actually I might search and find it. I'm really interested how those things turn out. I guess you can probably get a nice candle, put it on some stick, and balance it out, make sure it's not wobbly, it's balancing and making it turn, and put a needle and a nice big gramophone or something you can sing into that will vibrate that needle and scrunch into it somehow. I don't know, whatever. Let's talk something else. Simon says back up. Absolutely. I use 2 of these plus 1 which is active. So this is sitting here waiting for me to finish today. Nothing happened today. I've got no recording today. But normally whenever I finish, this gets swapped with the one which is currently connected and is backing up every second. So any changes in my computer onto the drive, it's getting backed up automatically. And then end of the day, it's get unplugged and this one plugs in and the other one goes into the safe, and this is ready for next time I turn it on. There are 2 terabytes and easily back up active projects. And once a project is finished and I'm all done, then that drive, another drive is used to save those projects on, and then they're filed for the future. And that's how I work. Cool. Do you welcome software upgrades or does it irritate you? Don't talk about software upgrades. I hate it. But it's got to be done to a certain degree. If your computer is connected to the internet, it's got to be done. For quite some time, I did not have my main working DAW computer onto the internet. But that caused a lot of hassle trying to get megabytes and megabytes of files onto a USB drive to plug into my laptop so I can actually upload it, or anything that I needed to do to download it, and back and forward. It was the hassle. So I ended up plugging my keyboard onto the internet. And whenever I'm actually doing any recording session, it's unplugged. It is wired connection, it's not a Wi-Fi. I just unplug it for 2 reasons. One, so that I don't get any interruption from the internet. two, that frees up some of the processing required for the Ethernet connection, freeing up some processing power to my DAW. So it serves two purposes. So while you're recording, just unplug if it's a wired internet connection, and if it's a Wi-Fi laptop, just turn off the Wi-Fi. So one, you don't get interrupted with internet things. Second, you get more CPU power. Even if it's a couple cycles, then you get more power in your PC, in your DAW. Simon says, see you next time, mate. Gonna go and play some bass. Oh, you're a bass player. Glenn Frecker's not gonna like you. Let's say more comments. Billy Blaze, I lost ton of great songs I wrote when an old recording PC crashed, or how upset I was. Yes, I would have been devastated. Yeah. My son recently had lost a hard drive. All of a sudden the hard drive just died, and he hadn't done backup for a month. And where was it? Anyway, sorry, I'll get back to that one. Simon, have a great time playing your bass. Without the bass, which has most of the energy of the song is not a song without a bass. So go crank it up, Simon, and enjoy it. So yeah, and his drive died, and all his work is on there, and we're trying to retrieve it by buying a spare board that matches the drive, and then swapping it. But it's not a matter of just swapping it. You gotta solder some components out of the original drive, and then put it onto the new spare board, and then onto the drive so we can retrieve the data. And we already have a new drive, but we need to retrieve the data. So it really is a hassle. Anyway, I've been printing out my lyrics as I write now, and I put them in a physical book. Yep, I guess, yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I do have a book which I like my lyrics. It's here somewhere. There we go. So let's see what I've been working on. Some songs, there you go. That's one song I'm working on. There's another song I'm working on. And that's it. A blank one for the next one. So I usually write my lyrics down. That way easier to change and have that creative moment. And then I usually just type it. And I use my Dropbox or Google Drive to save a copy on there, because it's just my lyrics. I already have a original copy here. So, but other than that, yeah, all good. Do you ever experiment with pitch? 440 hertz, 430.54 hertz, etc. I can't say I have. No. Yeah, just don't know. No. So I'm not sure how different they will be. They say there's different, but no, I haven't. I haven't done it. All my keyboards and things, everything is at 440 hertz for A. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully there's a few more people in answering questions. How many people I had so far? Okay, 9 viewers. Okay, I guess there's quite a few people there. I didn't think this time of the day there'd be people around. But yeah, well, Yeah, you've just joined in. This is just Out of the Blues live. I'm in the studio. I had sessions from yesterday cancelled and today cancelled and all of next week. A few of next week cancelled because my audio interface or the mixing console which I had, the Behringer UFX 1604, which is a day short of 2 months old, just gave up a couple of days ago and it's gone to the doctors to be replaced. I'm hoping they'll get a new one. So until then, I just working on sample projects. I had to actually hook up my externally my AudioBox 1818 VSL so I can do some work of mixing and editing. But all of my recording sessions have been cancelled until next week or further notice. It's really pain because it means I'm losing money. Not working. Well, at least this way I'm actually catching up with all of the editing and mixing projects that I have. Time to play a song and an ad break. Sure, Bacha will be back right after the news break. Sure, I can try. Last question, says Sevi. What is the loudest you have recorded at? Or do you prefer to give tracks room to breathe? The loudest peaks that I normally would see, which sort of I go, oh, that's a bit loud, is about -6 dB in my DAW. In Studio One, when you look at the inputs, you can actually see the inputs, what level they are being recorded. -6 is probably the highest. If I see that, I normally keep an eye out, making sure that it doesn't go any higher than that. But usually I'm recording at -18 to -12 dB. In these days, with 32-bit floating, you've got great dynamic range, so you really don't need to print loud. -18, -12 dB at peaks is just fine. And at the same time, when you are adding plugins to that track, so those -20, -18 dB inputs work pretty well without distorting the inputs. I mean, sure, you can drop the gain, clip gain down, but I tend to leave them as they are. I don't play much with the clip gain, but just adjust the EQ compression, all of that, making sure that I'm still getting -18 to -12 dB on the main bus for that track when I solo it. Hope that answers that question. Billy Blaze says, I'm getting my first drum kit out of the studio today, then I'm doing a studio video to put up on my channel. Should have that up maybe this coming week. The new drums are so awesome. Yes, I can't wait to see, because you haven't done many videos lately, Billy. So we need to see how you're actually going, all your music creations, and yeah, keep us up to date. Keep us up to date. Electronic Owl Works. Charles from Electronic Owl Works here. G'day, Charles, and welcome to the channel on live stream. Greeting from South Wales, USA, New York, USA. Wow, that must be a really early morning there. Not sure. Well, thanks for joining in. I hope you are having lots of fun. This is an entertainment time, at the same time a lot of information, of questions and asking, but mainly my live streams are entertainment. I'll try to entertain as I read the comments and answer them. Yep, in a digital world, you don't have to max the volume to overcome artifacts in the tracks like you did in analog tape. And Billy Blaze says it's 3 a.m. here. 3 a.m. Billy. Wow. Well, it's actually 8 p.m. on Saturday night here. Normally, by now, there'll be about one or two people in the studio. And there'll be one vocalist or something recording, practicing their vocals now, so that it's not too late at night. So I try to record the vocals about this time of the day. And there'll be a couple other people here. You'll be drinking coffee and having some snacks. And yeah, someone might have a go at the drum set, or someone will pick up my guitar like this, the guitar, and just strumming or something like that. There'll be noises around everywhere. But today it's empty. You know, I didn't get anybody else to come in because it was just too late to notify anybody else, like, you know, vocalists to come in. I could use vocalists, but I didn't have anybody else booked in. So yeah, I'm all alone. I don't know. I don't really feel like turning on my my keyboards. Should I turn my keyboards on and just have a jam? I don't know. You know, I was planning to play on with my new ART Pro VLA stereo or dual channel tube compressor, which is down there. But I just don't feel like it now. All that energy that I had, I'm a bit upset. I am upset because of the my mixer just failing, to the fact that I've hardly ever used the mixer over that time, and it just gave up. Anyway, let's come back this way so I can actually read some of the comments. Okay, New York, 4 a.m. Yes, was working on a mix and needed a break. Ah, good. I'm usually way too tired at 4 a.m. I'll be in my fourth dream by then, because I have a day job as well, so I need to wake up really early. I wake up at 6:30 a.m. so that I'm at work by 7, and I don't get back home until 7 p.m. So I'm actually working 12 hours a day. You know, I have some dinner, and then I'm in here by 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I try to finish by 11 o'clock. Unless it's a Saturday night or Friday and Saturday nights, I can stay longer because I don't have to work the next day. But yeah. But I guess if you needed a break, I hope this was a joyful break, a bit of break to your ears from all the music. What kind of music you mixing? If you would like to tell us and share your mixing experience. If you need any assistance in mixing, let me know. Billy says, I can tell you are angry about that mixer. I would be too. I'm not really angry. I'm just upset that you know, everything that I have, all of my audio gear that I have here plugs into a rack mountable power conditioner. So if the voltage drifts up and down, it actually controls it, make sure it's decent. It filters, and you need that for audio, and it filters so that there's no noise in there. And then for it to fail just before starting to record, I had clients in, I turn it on, and then it just doesn't go. Turn it off and on and off and on and off and on, and it just nothing works. I plug into somewhere else. I thought maybe my thing had, my power conditioner had something wrong, even though everything else was working. So plugged into another wall, and that didn't do anything. So we couldn't record, and I packed it away. The next day I took it to the music shop, they plugged it in, and it worked. On, off, on, off, on, off, plug the microphone in, speakers in, and the damn thing worked. Made me a liar. I said, well, okay, well, I guess must have been something here. And I brought it back that same night. This is Thursday night. And plugged it in. Sure enough, it was all working. And come last night, Friday night, I come in here and clients walk in as I'm turning things on, powered it up, failed again. On, off, and failed again. So we couldn't record last night. So I packed it again and went to the music shop and said, I need it replaced because it's an intermittent. So obviously it failed. I brought it here. It was working. I took it home. It was working. The next day I want to do work. It's not working. You know, so it's intermittent, and you don't want to have intermittent problems because they're the worst than failure one. If it fails, you know it failed and it's going to be replaced. If it's a power supply fail or if, whatever the case. But if it's intermittent, it works one day and doesn't work the next day, that is something you don't want. And that it ruins your whole, business basically, because clients now gone and won't be coming back in until next week, until I make sure that I've got it by next week. So that's a loss of creative time, work time. The guys may not be as ready as they were on Friday night next week. So, but it happens. It happens. I'm not angry. I'm just a bit upset that it happened to me. And I hope it does not happen to you. I'm sure it has happened to many people. But yes. Anyway, let's a few more comments, and we are approaching nearly an hour now. Says, man, I use Triple Light LCR 2400 line conditioner that protects against burnout, and that what usually takes out the audio gear. I lost $8,500 in gear in the past due to bad power at venues. Oh, yes. They need to replace that for you. Yeah, the place that I buy from, the music shop, and where I buy all of my gears, from the guitars. Did I show you the guitars? There we go. So all of my guitars, my keyboards under those covers, and the drums, more guitars at the back, and a lot of those things. Sorry. Yep, are from there. So they said, look, we will replace it, but the obviously company policy is that we need to get it repaired, checked and repaired. But he said most of the time it's not even 2 months old, so they will replace it. And he said, well, if they don't replace it, I'll make sure, the shop owner said, if Behringer doesn't replace it, we will replace it for you. So I'm not worried in that sense that they will look after me. Electric Owl works. Tonight I am working on an electronic post-punk band, kind of like New Order with a female singer. Before that I was mixing a metal band from Norway. That is why I am up at crazy hours. You are crazy. Yeah, one after the other. I hope you're getting paid. I wouldn't be doing those hours for free. I hope that you are getting paid. Behringer has a 3-year warranty on most of their gear. Well, I don't have the box with me. I think it, by law, Australian law, even if the manufacturer doesn't have it, by law, it's 12 months warranty cover. But warranty doesn't mean replacement. And that's replacement is the discretion of the manufacturer. But most of the times, manufacturers they don't want obviously problems, and they'll just replace it. And a lot of times, once they fix and repair the faulty ones, they sell them as refurbished units. So yeah. Anyway, that's that. I am not too happy, but at the same time, I'm not really concerned at this stage. And you get paid. Electric Owl Work says you get paid. Oh, that's good. That's good, because it's a lot of time. I know a lot of people say, I'll do it for free, do it for free. I mean, there are times I do for free, but as a sample, I do for free. So if someone wants to record an album here, I say, well, you can come in and record the first one, or we dedicated maybe 4 hours, first 4 hours for free, and you still have to pay any balance. But if you finished your song recording within the first 4 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours for one song, and then I sit down and do simple mixing and editing onto it without any mastering, obviously. And if you like it, and that's it, that's for free. And if you like it, you can go ahead and record the rest. And that works really well for me, because a lot of the time they're just local guys here, or girls, or ladies, who would come in with not much cash, but they really want to sort of record a song. Some of them are quite talented, and you really don't want that talent to go. You want to give them a chance. So I do give them a chance. So they come in and record a song, one song. Sometimes they bring a backing track with them, and so I'm just recording vocals and mixing the vocals into the backing track, and just sort of do a simple mix and master, and they go home quite happy, and spread the word. And that's how I get the other jobs. Even though they may not come for another song, it would have, pretty much everybody comes back for more songs. But even if they don't come, the word they spread about my studio and my work and the quality of my work firsthand is the best advertising you could have, word of mouth. And I don't do any advertising anyway. So, I mean, locally, I've got YouTube channel, and I do have, Facebook page and my website, but I don't, actively promote it in any advertising in any shape or form. It just word of mouth brings one customer to the next and one customer to the next. And, the guys says, oh, I've got a friend who can sing, or the guys play in the band, the couple guitars and a drummer, and they bring one vocalist and their other friend who sings as well. He'll come in, and I tell them, your singing is not the best. Go practice and come back. Those sort of things, and we'll have fun, and that's how I get most of my jobs. That's a strategy I have taken. This is not my full-time job. Obviously, it's hobby and extra job, but it pays for me to get new equipment, replace equipment, upgrade equipment, buy new software. Not sure you can actually see right behind me there. I'm actually installing, will it come up? Native Instruments. So I bought a few more libraries from, stop. So I bought a few more libraries from Native Instrument and installing them at the moment, because I've got the time now. So that's where it's clean up and reinstalling things and checking things. There's a couple of VSTs which I hardly ever use. They'll get deleted as well. And other ones that I want to check them out, we'll check them out as well. So yeah. How long Electric Owl says, how long have you used on Studio One? What did you previously use? I was on Pro Tools for 12 years and I switched to Reaper in 2012. I switched to Studio One in 2014, I believe. So 4 years ago, when I purchased this. No, actually, before I purchased this, the Audiobox 1818 VSL, I was using Studio One version 2.4 is when I started. I had version 1 point something when I had another PreSonus gear, which was a 2 input, 2 output Firewire. It wasn't the Audiobox. It was called 13 something. Anyway, Firewire unit, which came with that one. I tried it, version 1. It wasn't too happy with it. So at that time, I was using Magic Samplitude Studio, and recording with that, and Reaper as well. I had Reaper back then, Reaper 4. I had purchased, and then I upgraded to Reaper 5 as well. So I was using Samplitude to make my songs, and then when version 2 came out of Studio One, I purchased the Pro. They had it on Christmas special, a couple $100, so I actually went ahead and purchased it, and since then that's what I've been using, Studio One. So I also use PreSonus Eris E8 speakers. I've got the Audiobox 1818 VSL. I've got the Studio Channel. What else I have from PreSonus? Yeah, I think that's and the fader port, the single fader port. So lots of PreSonus gear around, and I'm quite happy with it. And Studio One has been my main DAW for quite some time now. But I do have obviously Cubase. I do have Sonar. I do have Reaper. I do have Samplitude, the latest one. I do have FL Studio, though I've hardly ever used it. What else? And a few other DAWs. I've got Mixbus as well from Harrison Mixbus. I've got that one. I have tried many other DAWs as trials, but I normally sticks. I've got Pro Tools SE. Pro Tools, it's 9 or 10, I can't remember. But I've hardly ever used Pro Tools, so that's what I used to use. Okay. Says that is a sweet monitor, and I'm using an older 52-inch TV as my monitor coming out of my laptop. You have Traction too. Oh yes, I do. I have Traction as well. Well, and actually, I have Traction 6, which is the free DAW. I have not purchased Waveform yet. I just got too many DAWs to purchase, and I don't think I will get any project which are Traction or Waveform. The reason I have all of these other DAWs like Cubase, Cubase 8, I have Cubase 8, not the latest one. The reason I have that many DAWs is because of, in the past, I had people who have those DAWs, especially Cubase and Sonar, that they have been recording and they wanted to update or add things, or they don't know how to run it a certain way. So they bring the whole project on their laptop or on their PC with them, and I'll be able to load into the project onto my computer and work on it and finish it off. That's the only reason. But for recording, before Studio One, I used to use Samplitude from Magic Samplitude, and then I switched to Reaper for a very short time. I've probably only done about 5 or 6 projects in Reaper, and then Studio One has been since then. If I'm recording from scratch, first thing, I'm the recording person, then it will go straight into Studio One. A lot of times when I'm recording outside on the field, I actually use Reaper to record. I just find it easier to set up in Reaper. I've got templates in Reaper to get 8 inputs from my audio box and record it in Reaper. And then because Reaper saves each track as a WAV file, I can just drag it into Studio One and edit it in Studio One and finish it off in Studio One. Studio One is a little bit heavy on my laptop, where Reaper runs without any problems, recording 8 tracks for hours on end. So that's the reason I have them, not because I want them. I just there in case projects come in. He says, wow, lots of DAWs. We have the 1818 VSL also, nice unit, and it also works with the iPad DAW called Aura. Very portable for location recording. Yes. Billy, you need to upgrade your T4 to T6. It's free, buddy. It's free. Just jump, download, and all your T4 projects will load into T6 without any glitch, because I've done it. So upgrade it. Because there's quite a few additions from T4 to T6. A lot of new functions that added that you get it for free. But we want to hear your recordings, Billy. It says, I know, I just haven't got around to it yet. Yeah, well, anything else you guys want to have a look or have, you want to say? You want me to go around what gears I have, but I don't know. I can go through my gears, but I will be finishing off the live quite soon. Because I am thinking of, let me just move this guy over here so you guys can see. So basically this is my patch bay up here, and what I'm trying to do is, this used to be floating around the, hang on, where are we? Let me just bring it down. My apologies for the shakes. Okay, so this audio box used to be, now it's too far down. There we go. Is my floating audio interface. I also have the FCA 1616 from Behringer, which I think I'm going to make that as my floating outside studio recording thing. And I'm going to plug this up there so that if I need small things to do, mixing and editing, I don't need to turn on my brand new one coming, the Behringer UFX 1604 mixer. So I might have to do some swapping in here. It's going to be a pain to do all the wiring at the back, but I think I have to. So I can have that there and just move everything. That's my TC Helicon, what is it? What's it called? VoiceWorks, which is a vocal effects processor. I might have to take that out and shove it down there somewhere, because I've hardly ever used it. And so I plug that in there. So that should give me quick access to audio interface without turning on my mixing console. And all my Mac processors are here. PreSonus Studio Channel, Tube, Mic Pre, the ART Tube, Mic Pre, compressor, EQ for Bert, and I have the Behringer Mic Pre VX2000, which is another vocal processor. Really great for narration, and that will move there. So yeah. What else I can show you? I did have something else as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's This is something I got as well, is my radial reamp. I'm sure guitar players would know what this one is. It works really, really great. I've only used it once, but it worked really, really great. So basically what you do is you record the guitar player with a DI box direct into your DAW alongside with your mic, miking the guitar amp. That way you still have a direct guitar sound. And for some reason later on you're not happy with the guitar effects, or the amp settings were not right, or whatever, and you want to experiment something else, the guitar player doesn't have to play the part again. You just play back the DI from of the guitar from the DAW, put it in here and into the amp or in guitar pedals, and it will act as if a real guitar player is playing it, and you can reamp it and you can work it that way. So that's something new that I've got. What else? Not much else. Yeah, I haven't bought much else. I've got far too many. I've got so many microphones here. It covers pretty much everything, and that's all of those are microphones that have collected over the years. Probably about 15 years of microphone there, from Rode NT1A and Rode NT1, the MXL, JTS, of course, Shure microphone there as well, the SM57, SM58. I've got my MXL Genesis, which is a tube mic. I think this is the first microphone that I actually purchased, and I'm going to show you. Came into this case, so you can see it's been used quite some time. And this is my, there we go, sorry, I'll just move it and I'll show it to you guys. I might turn the light on. You guys want the light on? Yeah. No. That's better. Okay, let's move you up a little bit. Okay, this is my first microphone, professional microphone that I purchased. This is the AKG D190C. It's a dynamic microphone, and this is my wiring. Because back then I did not have a mixer with an XLR connection at the back, because my 4-track cassette recorder only had 6.5 jacks in. So this is about 26, 27 years old. Still works, but I haven't used it for a very long time. And I checked them out on eBay lately, how much they actually worth. And they were selling about, I think the cheapest that got sold was $150. But yeah, it's the mesh. This is the mesh part is tiny, sort of, I don't know, tiny balls. I wonder how focused it's gonna get. No, I wonder if you guys can actually see it. It's hard metal, but it's like all these tiny metal balls stuck together. It's really strange. But I've recorded vocals with this. I recorded guitars with them. And what else? Back then I did not record drums. not enough microphones. But yeah, probably basically just vocals as well as guitars, acoustic guitar, electric guitar through the amp. Just plug it straight in. So there we go. So microphones, you don't just go and just buy. You build up over time. As you start building up your library of microphones. And someone actually said, why do you need so many microphones? Well, it's the same situation. I have all of these microphones still on Wednesday when I had a vocalist come in to record vocals for their music. They said, can I bring my microphone? And I said, what microphone do you have? He said, it's a Rode K1 or K2, one of them. Yeah, K1 or K2. I can't remember. It's a tube mic. So we brought it in, we plugged it in straight into my mixer, which then blew up. Well, sort of stuffed up. So we had to use the audio box. But no EQ, nothing. And we got great sound. So that's the difference. You know, some microphones will suit certain vocals, other microphones will suit different vocals. Some microphones you want to capture NTK, that's the one. Thank you, Billy. Rode NTK tube. Not sure if I took a photo of it, but he'll be back. He's coming back for another song, so he'll bring that microphone. NTK, that's the one. It's a big, massive case that it's in because it's got its own power supply and all the wires, and so it's a big black Rode case. Where was I? So yeah, it all depends what you're recording. You know, you can use the same guitar, you can use a different microphone and get a different tone from that same microphone. So it's all about experimenting and knowing what the musician wants, what sort of sound they want, so that in your DAW you're not EQing as much. You're just trying to get rid of some of the bits and things. Otherwise, you want to leave as flat as possible with the EQ, because every time you EQ, unless it's a linear EQ, you know, you even in linear ones, you're gonna have some phasing issues. The sound will actually change, but that's what you're doing by EQing up or down. You're changing it, and you don't want it to change too much so that it doesn't cause any phase issues with other instruments and so on. So yeah, we recorded his vocals with only two notches that I had to do on his vocals, nothing else, and a high pass, which is quite normal, you know, at 100 hertz, and that's about it. Yeah, so it was really, really great fun. So that's why there are a lot of microphones, but you don't have to have it. You only need one microphone. And if you want to get a good microphone, all those people who ask me about good microphone, just get Rode NT1. You won't need any other microphone. They're about 300 Australian dollars. You can get them probably, maybe not second-hand. I'm not fan of buying second-hand microphones, but if you got no choice, you can buy it cheaper as a second-hand one. But yeah, then that's probably the only microphone you would need. What else? Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Looks like my Native Instruments is actually installing and nearly finished. So I'm ready to go back to my PC and finish that off. And I hope you had fun with me. You know, just casual, just enjoying 3 a.m. What else you want to do? You just watch it on YouTube. Um, oh boy. Let's see. I haven't thought of phasing issues. I go to my NTK mic into the UA channel strip and into a tube EQ to do most EQing pre-DAW. Yeah, well, that's what I normally do as well. Normally they would go into my tube channels. I think on Wednesday we went into my Personas uh, channel strip, but yeah, I don't have many EQs or compression on there. Very very lightly. The compression is on just to catch some peaks, so we're not distorting or we're not going too high up. And the EQ is pretty much flat on it, unless we wanted to. But for vocals, I try to leave it flat. Yeah, that's what I do. And Electrical says, thanks for the broadcast. Hope to see you online again soon. Yes, I will be making some new videos coming up, and I'll try to get them recorded. I have all planned, but I have not recorded them yet. My video to-do list is quite long because the number of questions I get about different topics to cover. So I will cover them up as well. Even things like how to use outboard gear with the Sonos 1818 VSL in a few of the DAWs like Studio One and Reaper, and probably there's no point of doing Sonar at this stage because we don't know what's going to happen. Even though Cakewalk, Gibson sort of dropped Cakewalk, but it's been bought by BandLab, so we don't know what's going to happen. I've been reviewing a few other products as well that I've got. And yeah, I think that's about it. Well, it's been 82 minutes already, me blabbing on and chatting and talking everything and anything. Some of it doesn't make sense, but don't take it seriously. Just take it as an entertainment. Says Daniel. Hi Daniel, I think you knew. Is it good? I have some old projects and I would like to master them in this way. Can you recommend something? Hi Vache, nice gear there, man. If you have time about mastering, one word from your please. What do you think about online instant audio mastering? I have tried out Blender, I have tried out Mastering Mix, and there's few other as well. There's Masters, as in MASTRZ, something like that, online ones. I think comparing to what I do and how I master, most of those online ones, they just turn up the volume. There's not much tonal difference because I upload a mix and I've already done a master on it, but I upload the mix down and compare with my mix and their mix. It's just louder. Tonality wise, I put under the spectrum. I did a test, I think it was last year sometime, and they, other than being a little bit louder, it's not much difference. So I think what they do is they turn the volumes up, they compress a little bit, put some limiters. I'm pretty sure they do multi-band compression. I hope they actually have, I'm sure they do a linear multi-band compressors on, compressing it and making it louder, because a lot of people think if it's loud then it's good master. but not necessarily. My masters still loud, but they still have dynamics. I don't crush them. The peaks still there. It did not look sort of flat down. But there's some of them are free. They give you a free MP3 version, mastered version. So if you're not familiar with mastering, or you're not sure of how mastering works, you can certainly use them, and then use the result to see if you can match your master to their online mastering, in tonal wise, volume wise. That could be a practice, so you can actually practice. That's a good way of practicing mastering. Most of them are free. I know Lender used to be free. My account, which I opened with Lender when they first launched it, so I still have a free account, but I don't think you can have it free. I may be wrong. You can correct me. But yeah, I think they want about $4 or $5 a month on a yearly base. But there's a few others which are free. I think Mixing Box is free for low quality MP3 mastered, and if you want wave 24-bit wave master, then I think you got to pay $5 or $6 per track, and so on. So that's my view on online mastering. It's similar to getting what's the point? How to explain? Music is creative art. So as much as you can try to automate it and computerize it, you still need that human touch to make it sound good. So if you create music with loops where there's not much human feeling into it, other than being repeated over and over again, the sound loops, it would be quite different than actually playing a live instrument of the same thing. You will know straight away. If it's sampled drums, you're going to be able to tell that it's sampled drums, and won't have as much as feeling and dynamic as a real drum being played. And so it's the same with mastering. It's just a bunch of algorithms in a computer that's just going through your data, because it's data. It's not really listening. It's just looking at data, passing on through the algorithm and adjusting it. Some of them will actually give you an option to have, loud, bassy, brighter, or dull, or whatever options that you can select for your master. But again, it's just going through an algorithm. But a lot of time in mastering, you can and should do automation. So even throughout the song, you can enhance the dynamics, and whether if it's compression automation or EQ automation, to get the desired outcome, where online ones won't be able to do that, because they're not looking at it as a song, they're just looking at it as data. So hope that answers that question. We've got a few more people there, but I'm just about finishing it off. It says, Billy Blaze says, Vache, if you want, I have a code for a free plug-in bundle from Focusrite Red. If so, shoot me an email. I will send you the info. I actually have Focusrite Red, because I do have two. I had three. Now I've got, because I sold one, now I've got two Focusrite interfaces. So I already have Focusrite Red. Thank you, Billy. Thank you for the nice gesture and the talk. Says Lender gives you 2 free low-grade MP3s a month. Yeah, I thought so. I guess they're still doing it. At one stage, when they first launched, you could even get wave files for free. Um, Daniel says, okay, thank you for the tips. Have a good day. Thank you, Daniel. Have a good day as well. And I think it's time's running out. It's 89 minutes and a few more seconds. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I think I'm going to go and do a few more work here. And it's already nearly 9 o'clock. And thank you so much for being here. This really just fun, exciting, hopefully entertaining live stream from my studio while I wait for my audio interface mixer to come in. But never fear, I'm sure it'll arrive next week, because I want to do quite a few videos with the Behringer UFX 1604. The functionality and options that it actually has, I have not found in many other mixers, audio interfaces. So I will definitely be making videos on it, because I want to share those experiences with you. So if you are thinking of buying an audio interface which has enough number of microphone inputs and options and knobs and twigs and all of those things, as well as connecting to your DAW and allowing you to record up to 16 channels simultaneously, and doing a whole heap of other things,